I'm back from vacation and I've got 2 tarantulas to rehouse in these Tarantula Cribs Enclosures. Hello tarantula lovers, I'm Alex and you're watching Tarantula Haven. Today I'm rehousing 2 tarantulas. One is my Cyriocosmus elegans and the other one is my Cyriocosmus bicolor. Both of them are dwarf tarantulas, which is why I have the small enclosures for them. And before I get started, I want to let you know that this is not a paid advertisement. I actually purchased these myself because I love the Tarantula Cribs Enclosures. I love how crystal clear they are. I think they're very well made and sturdy, and I especially love the locking lid that they have that is magnetized. It just slides right back in there and clicks into place, and you don't have to worry about escapees. So because they are dwarf tarantulas, these are just the right size for them. I do have them currently in a very small cheapy critter keeper. These are not actually the real critter keepers, and I don't like them at all. I bought them really cheap for like $2 I think at a Repticon, and I didn't really think about it. I didn't think it through. I thought that they would be nice because they're small and very well ventilated and everything, but there is a problem. The lid is very flimsy and it comes up real easy. I didn't have to make any effort to get that off, and that's a problem when you're dealing with tarantulas. Not to mention the ventilation across the top. There's so much ventilation that everything dries out real quick inside here, and that is a big problem when I'm dealing with these 2 tarantulas because they come from tropical rainforest, which of course is high humidity and very warm areas. So evaporation is a big problem. These things dry out so fast, and I did have a problem with my Cyriocosmus elegans when I paired her. She made an egg sac, but then she ate the egg sac, and I think the dryness had a big part to play in that. So I'm trying to avoid that. I do want to breed her in the future, so I'm putting them into the Tarantula Cribs Enclosures, which of course do not have as much of that ventilation, and even if I have to cover a few things at the top over here, I think it will trap a lot more moisture than these do. And just to let you know, if you want to purchase your own tarantula cribs, there's a link down below in the description. I just have to warn you that they are frequently out of stock, but that's not their fault. They're just very popular and in high demand, so when they get some in, they tend to sell out very fast, especially certain sizes. So if you want to keep on top of it, you can follow them on Instagram or on Facebook, and they usually will post when they have new inventory, and sometimes they'll even provide a discount code for you. So this is the example of the little critter keeper that I have it in, and this one is my Cyriocosmus elegans, and as you can tell, it took no effort for me to take the lid off, and you can see how dry everything is in there. And you can see it has a burrow right here and down here and so on. And it does just fine, but you can see how bone dry it is in there. I don't keep it this way. This is just what happens every single week. So evaporation happens really fast. I just haven't watered it or anything because I was getting ready to rehouse them. Cyriocosmus elegans, commonly known as the Trinidad dwarf tiger. I consider it to be one of the cutest tarantula species in the hobby. They are small in size and they have an adorable heart-shaped patch on their abdomen. Usually people who tell me that they hate spiders or tarantulas will often admit that they think that the C. elegans is cute when I show it to them. It may not change their opinion about arachnids, but maybe it will get them thinking that they're not so bad after all. They are native to Trinidad, Tobago, and some parts of Venezuela. They come from tropical rainforests with warm temperatures and high humidity. This is part of the reason why I'm rehousing her today, because the enclosure that I have her in dries out too quickly, and I'm hoping to trap the humidity better in the Tarantula Cribs enclosure. They are a burrowing species, usually only venturing out at night, but will spend most of their time in their burrow. These tarantulas are solitary, but they live in close proximity to one another in the wild in densely populated groups and are plentiful in Trinidad and Tobago. Their small size comes with a short lifespan, with females only living about 5 to 7 years and reaching sizes of about 2 inches or 5 centimeters. Males have shorter lifespans of about 1 to 2 years and reach in about 1 inch in size. So I suppose with such short lifespans, they have to live fast and can reach sexual maturity in as little as a year. They're relatively easy to breed in captivity. I bred mine successfully to the point where she made an egg sac, which unfortunately she ended up eating, which I attribute to the dry conditions of her current enclosure. Now that I've rehoused her to a better enclosure, I intend to breed her again in hopes of contributing more of this wonderful species to the hobby. I recorded this the following day, and you can see that she's moved into her burrow and webbed it up. For such a small species, they are little bulldozers and can move a lot of dirt. So let's go ahead and rehouse the Cyriocosmus bicolor and take a look at that one. Cyriocosmus bicolor, formerly Cyriocosmus chikoi, commonly known as the chikoi dwarf. I've mentioned this species before in my recommended dwarf video, and back then I said that I could not find much information on this species. If you do a search for it, you'll find that it's difficult to find any detailed information on it. The most I could find was that it was from Brazil, but I couldn't seem to find any information as to its size and locale and lifespan and things like that. Fortunately, thanks to my friend Luis Roque, I can now give you a little bit more information on this species. Cyriocosmus bicolor is native to Brazil, particularly in the state of Rondônia, close to the Bolivian border. Females of this species can reach sizes of 2.5 inches. I was still not able to find information about lifespan, but if I go by the lifespan of the C. elegans of 5 to 7 years, I imagine that the lifespan may be similar, if not slightly longer, given the larger size of the C. bicolor. Males, of course, will be smaller and have a much shorter lifespan. This tarantula is much bolder than the C. elegans, preferring to web in and around its hide. Mine stays out in the open unless it's disturbed and will sometimes even give a threat posture. I've experienced two behaviors from my C. bicolor when it comes to rehousing. It will either bolt very quickly in search of a hiding spot, or it will become very stubborn and immobile, almost to the point of playing dead. Often this behavior is coupled with bolting as soon as it senses it has an opportunity to escape. This species seems to be somewhat rare in the US hobby. I picked this one up from Arachnoidin for about $40, but I've not seen one on sale anywhere since then. I was fortunate enough to get a female, and I'm always in search of a male to pair her with to continue the species in the hobby, especially since it's a Brazilian species. I worry, as Tom Moran pointed out in one of his podcasts, that this may be a species that was once plentiful in the hobby, but has since waned due to lack of interest in captive breeding. Alright, so the Cyriocosmus bicolor, that one is a stubborn little spider. You saw how she just wanted to cling to the cork bark and she didn't want to move. And what's funny is sometimes she'll just bolt and take off, and there's other times where she'll stand her ground, and she will throw a threat posture if she feels like it. And I've been looking for them for quite a while now. I kind of got her by accident. I intended to buy more than one Cyriocosmus elegans, but he only had one, so I picked up another one, and it was the Cyriocosmus bicolor Chicoy at the time, and I hadn't heard of them, so I went ahead and got it, and I love them, but now they never pop up anymore. I did see a mature male pop up one time, but at the time I didn't feel like I was experienced enough to try to breed her, and I didn't think that she was mature enough, so I just kind of held off and let it go, and now I'm kind of kicking myself because, like I said, I don't see them anywhere. Maybe it's different in Europe, maybe they're kind of plentiful over there, but here I can't find them. Ever since I got this one, I've not seen one in a shop since. So hopefully they will pop up again. If not, then maybe I'll get one somehow. You know, maybe somebody will watch this video and know that there is a demand for them, or that I at least want one and want to breed it and see if we can add some more into the hobby. So 2 simple rehousings of these dwarf species, and that's the cool thing about dwarf species is they don't take up a whole lot of space. So if it's a true dwarf, then they're 3 inches and under. So an enclosure like this is good enough, and that's all they really need. So you can get a whole bunch of them and they won't take up tons and tons of space. You just put them on a shelf somewhere. So that's one big plus about dwarf species, and there are lots and lots of different ones, and they all have their own personalities, and they're all beautiful and fun to watch. Of course, the Cyriocosmus elegans likes to bury herself, so I don't see her all that often. And that does it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to Tarantula Cribs. If you're looking for your own Tarantula Cribs, there's a link down below in the description, and they've provided me with a code for 10% off. Just type in THAVEN10 and you'll get 10% off your purchase. And don't forget to check back often if something is out of stock, because they do restock frequently. It's just that they're in high demand and sometimes they might be out of stock on certain things. So definitely check them out. If you want to stay on top of it, make sure you follow their Instagram or their Facebook page. And don't forget to give me a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, I have a Teespring store where I sell Tarantula Haven merchandise. Special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Your support is greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter yourself, there's a link down below in the description, as well as all the others. Until next time, keep loving them tarantulas, especially the little ones.